Hello superheroes, I'm Scarlet Grace from Seraph.com. I'm a magic and manifestation coach. Have you ever wanted to manifest something that you had trouble imagining because you don't really know what it would look like or how you would feel if it manifested? Today I'm going to share with you a super easy fix for that so that you can start manifesting it right away. Welcome back to another video. Before we begin, I wanted to quickly let you know that I have created a free 5-day challenge that you can join. This challenge is going to help you discover and fix your manifestation blocks. Lots of people have seen amazing results from this challenge, so if you want to get awesome results too, then you should totally try it. It's totally free to join, and I'll put the link below in the description. I also want to invite you to join my Facebook community, where you can ask questions, get answers and support, and suggest topics for future videos. You can find this link below in the description too. Alright, so today's topic is manifesting things that you can't easily imagine. So before we get into how to manifest things that you have trouble imagining, in case you haven't already watched my other videos, let me repeat the basic manifestation method that you can use to manifest absolutely any desire you have. The first step is to decide on what it is you want. What do you want? Don't be afraid to dream here. Go big. What is it that you really, really want? What makes your soul sing? What would greatly improve your life and skyrocket your happiness levels? Is it a better job? A brand new laptop? Moving to the Caribbean? Being in a romantic relationship with a specific person? Pick a desire that when you think about it, your whole being goes, oh yes, 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 that's it, I want that. Alright, now that you've picked your desire, mentally go to the point in time when you achieved it. Then go even farther in time, a day or a week or a month after you got your desire, and find a scene that would take place if and only if your desire had come to pass. Let's say, for example, that your desire is to manifest a specific car. So you mentally go forward in time to the point you get your car, but you don't dwell in that moment. Move a day or a week after you got your new car and find a scene that wouldn't happen unless you had that new car. For example, a week after you got your new car, you're driving to work, and then you park your brand new car in the parking lot. Now that wouldn't be able to happen unless you already had that new car, right? So that's the imaginal scene you're going to use in the next step, driving your new car to work. Make it a short scene that's easy to remember. You'll see why you need that in the next step. Alright, so now that you've picked your scene, sit comfortably or lay in bed, and close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and relax your body. Get into a relaxed, meditative state, a state similar to the state right before you fall asleep at night. Then play your scene in your mind, the one you created in step 2, the one scene that would happen if and only if your desire had already come to pass. Play this scene in your mind over and over. If you're doing this before bed, then play the scene over and over until you fall asleep. If you're doing this at another time and you don't want to fall asleep at the end, then do it until the scene feels real and you're feeling all the emotions you would feel if this scene was real. That's the way of imagining that you need to use to manifest absolutely any desire you have. But there are some things you may have trouble picturing. Or maybe you can't easily relate to how exactly it would look like when they manifested. Or you can't easily find a scene that would happen if and only if your desire had manifested. Or maybe you just keep trying to find the perfect scene, and then you get stressed and worry about whether you've picked the right scene or not, whether it has too much detail and you'll start forgetting, or too little detail and it doesn't feel realistic, or any other number of things we tend to think. See, the imagining technique is really simple, and creating your imaginal scene doesn't have to be difficult or complicated. But many of us, and especially when you're new to this, we tend to think that there's some big secret, that there's one perfect scene, and unless you get it 100% right, then your desire won't manifest. And this isn't true, because there are tons of different scenes that you can construct for the exact same thing, and they would all work great. But this stress and this worry can get in the way, because you take it into your imaginal session, and then, instead of being fully immersed in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you're subconsciously obsessed over whether you got it right or not. And we don't want that, because the imaginal sessions are meant to implant a seed into your subconscious, so that your desire can manifest and blossom. You only want to implant that seed of your wish, not any worries or fears about whether you're doing it right or not. So when you want to manifest a desire that you can't imagine, or you can't picture clearly, or you're not sure what scene would definitely happen after you got your desire, what do? Well, Neville Goddard has a solution for this kind of situation too, and it's a very, very easy one. I'm going to give you 3 different options, 3 different ways to fix this issue. All 3 are equally effective, and you can pick the one that resonates best with you, or even create 3 different scenes, one for each method, and rotate them in your imagining sessions. The first method is the congratulatory phone call. So let's say, for example, that what you want is to get $20 million, but you have trouble imagining what that would look like exactly. I mean, it's natural that you would have trouble relating to that. Have you ever had 1 million in your bank account? What about 10 million? If you haven't even been close to having 1 million in your bank account before, then chances are you cannot relate at all to how it would be to have 20 million. But here's the thing. You may not be able to relate to having $20 million in your bank account, but you can relate to being on the phone with someone, right? You do it all the time. And you can also relate to being congratulated by a loved one for a success you've had. So here's what you do to use the phone call method. Instead of trying to figure out what it would look like a day or a week after getting your 20 million, instead of doing that, you imagine that you are on the phone with a loved one or a close friend, and they are congratulating you on getting or winning or receiving $20 million. So your imaginal scene would start with you on the phone. You feel the phone in your hands and against your ear. You're standing in front of the window at your house, looking out at your driveway, and you hear your best friend's or your sister's voice saying on the phone something like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this happened for real. $20 million? You now have $20 million in your bank account. My baby brother is a multi-millionaire. How awesome is that?" And then in your imagination, you reply, "Yes, isn't it absolutely fantastic? I'm a millionaire. And it happened so easily and joyfully." Or something along those lines. So you play this phone call scene over and over in your mind during your imagining sessions. The benefit of this method is that you don't have to picture things like owning a house that would imply that you have 20 million in the bank, or trying to feel how you would feel living there, or anything like that. All you need to be able to do is to imagine how it is to be on the phone, and how it would feel if your sister or friend or whoever you chose to have this conversation with was congratulating you on having 20 million in the bank. It's also a very easy imaginal scene, since the main part of it is a phone conversation, so you can easily use this imaginal scene during the day too. For example, when you're waiting in line at the grocery store, or on the bus during your morning commute. Well, some more detailed imaginal scenes may not be as easy to use on the go like that, because you may need more time to relax and keep your eyes closed to use them, which you can't do at the grocery store. So, the second method is very similar to the phone call method, but it is in person. If you want to create a scene where the conversation happens in person, then you can construct a dialogue similar to the one above, but you also picture your sister, what she's wearing. You see her hugging you to congratulate you. You see the astonished and gleeful expression on her face, etc. And finally, the third method is what I call the testimonial. This one is super easy to do. All you gotta do is imagine that you already got your desire and you just typed up and sent me an email or left a comment under one of my videos, for example, talking about how you just manifested your desire. Because you wouldn't send me such an email or leave such a comment unless your desire had already manifested, right? So in this method, your imaginal scene would basically be you looking at your computer or phone screen, rereading what you just sent me or what you just commented. Keep it short and sweet so it's easy to remember, because you're going to replay it over and over in your mind. So, say you want to manifest getting your ex back. Your scene would be, it could be something like rereading an email you just sent me that says, "Scarlett, I wanted to share with you that I use the imaginal technique you talked about in your video every night before falling asleep, and my ex messaged me out of the blue. Apologized for everything, and now we're back together and happier than ever." Super simple, right? Nothing complicated, no weird details to memorize. Just reading a short message on a screen. You already know what it looks like to read an email or a YouTube message, so your mind can picture that instantly. Just insert the feelings you'd be feeling if your desire had manifested and you were sharing the good news, and you're good to go. I hope these techniques are helpful to you. If you benefit from them, I'd love to hear your success stories. If you enjoyed this video, please click like. And if you haven't already, then hit the subscribe button and the bell icon and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you very much for watching.